Welcome back to the Trailblazer Pod. I'm your host, Faye, and each week I bring you stories of Jewish women who are trailblazers. This week's trailblazer is Laura Cohen, founder of ELY Active. ELY Active is a modest activewear company. It's not just a brand, it's a movement. With ELY Active, Laura aims to break down stereotypes and empower women to stay true to who they are. This is all encompassed in the brand slogan, I can and I will. Watch me. Let's dive in. Laura, welcome to the Trailblazer Pod. It's so great to have you here. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for hosting me.
Thank you. You're one of the people that I met on social media, and I like to say that because I think I mentioned to a lot of my listeners in the beginning that I didn't have social media for a lot of years, and I didn't want to come on. I was very nervous, but I knew if I have a podcast, I need to have an Instagram. And when I meet people like you, it kind of makes me feel a lot better about the fact that I started it up again. So I'm so glad we chatted and you agreed to come on here because I think your story, first of all, I love your energy, but I think your story is so fascinating and I want everyone to know about your brand. So we're just going to get right into it. I like to set a foundation of our guests to know who they are before their career and before
Definitely.
yeah. So can you share what your life was like growing up and where you grew up?
Okay, so I'm originally from Paris. I'm French. And I've been living in France for 22 years and then I
Wow.
decided to move to Israel. I mean, I was not married. I met my husband and I built my family here. I have now
Wow.
5 kids. I'm 39 years old. How I grew up, I've always been a very good child.
Yeah.
I've always been, very like if I want something, I will do everything to get it. This
hmm
when I was a student, even
Wow.
I loved studying. Like I really loved school, and I was really a good girl, I think. And I'm always saying, like now that I have 5 children, I wish I had a child like me, when I
But you
was
don't? None of them?
no, they're good kids, but I was very like I really loved school and like I wanted to
Yeah.
learn more and more and more. Uh,
Wow.
Now it's a bit more challenging with my kids, but so yeah, so I decided to move to Israel when I was 22 because I loved my country
Yeah.
and I met my husband here. Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
basically so I'm French Israeli.
Were you always creative? Because I know a lot of the things we're going to talk about, your career and then your shift in your career, a lot of it takes a lot of creativity. So did you always have that, or was it something you had to learn along the way?
I don't know if I've always been creative, but I remember a sentence that my mom told me that when I was young, and
Oh,
I
wow.
think I was maybe 12 years old or something like this. And my mom told me, you need to be different.
Ah,
You always need to be different. You need to think out of the box.
that's
And
amazing.
I think I grew up with this, that you really need yeah, to be creative in a
Yeah,
way. And yeah,
that's
so
such wonderful advice.
yeah, I really wanted, I mean, not that I wanted to be different from the
Yeah,
others, but I think, yeah, I really wanted to create all the time something which is
yeah,
better or, yeah, or different, something that brings something new. So I think, yeah, I grew up with this,
yeah,
in the back of my head
yeah.
somehow.
That's amazing because so many of us at that age, you're saying 12-ish, are wanting to fit in with everybody. And it's something that I think I especially struggle with that. It's like, how do I make sure that I don't stand out? And it's such a shame because if we're all the same, I mean, the
Yeah,
podcast is the Trailblazer. If we're all the same,
I
nothing new is
agree.
gonna come out of it. So that's amazing. Okay, so you grew up in Paris. What did you go to college for?
Okay, so I studied management and marketing. I was in a business school, which was with a lot of international students. That's why I
Mhm.
speak English, because as you know, French people
Oh,
do not really speak
yeah.
English so well. So I studied in English. It was very important for me to know the language, and I loved international management. I was specialized in international marketing, so how big
Mhm.
companies, develop and break into different markets.
Yeah.
So this is something that I really loved. So I have a BA in management and marketing.
And then you actually went into marketing, right? You were in marketing
Yeah,
for a very long time. So can you share 13 years if I read correctly? Can you share about that experience because that's a long career and I
yeah,
also you mentioned it was like your dream career, right?
yeah. When I moved to Israel, I had the opportunity. I didn't want to make Aliyah just, like. normal people. You do Aliyah, you don't speak Hebrew, then you
Yeah.
do an ulpan. I wanted immediately to learn the work environment in Israel. So there's some different programs, with the Jewish agency that you can do a stage, internship. They
Mm.
find you a company for a few months, and then you do an internship. So this is the first thing when I did, when I
Wow.
made Aliyah. So I was in a startup, and I immediately like really liked the way of working, of the Israeli, the work,
Yeah.
culture of the Israeli. And once I was there, one of the people there moved to another company, and then he contacted me and told me, "Listen, I work in a company. There's a lot of international people. I know they look someone for the advertisement
Mm.
department for the French market. Do you want to come for an interview?"
Wow.
And I said, "But I don't speak Hebrew. I
Yeah.
think I have to do an ulpan. I don't know. Like I'm not sure." Anyway, at the end, I went to the interview and I was hired as a media buyer. So I was in charge of buying
Mm.
advertising, spaces, on the
Yeah.
internet, like with different websites for the French market. And then slowly, I grew up and I was promoted after a few years to manage a team. And yes, so I was for 13 years in media
Wow.
buying and acquisition department. It was amazing because I think I learned so many things. First of all, to manage amazing budgets. I managed like a few $1 million budget monthly. I managed teams in different countries in the world. So I'm located in Israel, but I had some teams, in few
Yeah.
countries. And I think the things that I really learned the most, and this is what is helping me now that I'm managing my own business, is always to react.
Mm.
In Israel, Israel is the startup nation, but
Yes.
the way of the Israeli, to think and to always be one step ahead.
Yeah.
And you never, take everything for granted. Even if things are working, you always think two steps ahead.
Right.
Okay, if it doesn't work, you need to be ready to react. You
Yeah.
don't have time, not even 1 or 2 days, if it doesn't work. You always need to have something
Yeah.
to react, a plan B, C, and D. Um,
Exactly.
so this is basically what
Wow.
I really loved. I got a lot of confidence because when you work at some point, you have a lot of responsibilities in a company. You work in a very masculine environment.
Yeah.
The CEO and
The
so
C-suite and all that. Yeah.
yeah, so you need to
Yeah.
be able, to say what you think. If you believe something is not
Yeah.
correct, so okay, you have to explain why, and not to be shy, not to be. So
Yeah.
I think I gained a lot of confidence, and it was amazing. It was my dream job because I always dreamt, to do something big and to have
It's
a
amazing.
position, where I can impact, on the company, and
Yeah.
it was really amazing
Yeah. I
period.
think it's really cool because we're going to get into what you pivoted into, but it's always interesting to hear people's story before that. And I think you can tell from when I found you on social media, I knew there was something like you have experience with marketing, you have such a brand, and like not brand is something that so few people really know how to get. And so when I found out that you did that, everything kind of made sense. But I think also I work for a startup for my paid job. This is just my passion. But I think what you were saying about you always have to think 3 steps ahead. Like in life we say like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But in startups, it's like that's not you can't think like that. Like
Definitely.
always have to think to improve, even if it's not broken, right? So I think that's something that startups teach you that's invaluable. Okay, so we're gonna get into your current position and what you started, which is incredible. But I want to ask you how your journey into fitness started. Just curious, were you always into it, or is it something that you developed like later on?
Okay, I really didn't like to
Okay.
work out. I hated. I had a few years ago some back issues,
Mm.
and I tried a lot of treatments, and then the doctor told me, "Listen, you have to
Mm.
exercise." And I said, "What? Like, I don't have time. I don't like this."
Yeah.
So I went to register, on the studio, and I remember, like I told when I went to register, I thought, listen, this is a punishment for me. I'm not coming because I like it. Really, like in these words,
Yeah.
I'm really doing it because I have no choice. I wanted to find me a personal trainer, which would be good
Mm-hmm.
enough, to help me like it
Yeah.
somehow. And yeah, and with the time, you learn.
Yeah.
First of all, it enables you to connect to your body.
Yeah.
And I saw how, with the time, my pain disappeared. And then I understood that doing sports is not only, to have a summer body, like
Yeah.
many people think. It's not an option. It's a requirement. Like,
Yeah.
we need to exercise. We need to take care of our bodies. So yeah, with the time, I really liked it. It became part of my life. I like also, it's a way to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
It's a way, to learn what is discipline. Motivation. A lot of people speak about motivation. It's much more than motivation. We're all motivated. I want to lose weight. I want this. I want that.
Right.
I want to build muscle. It's um, it's more than this. Okay, it's discipline. Even if
Yeah.
you don't like it, even if sometimes you cannot, or you feel like, no, if I decided that I'm going to the gym on these and these days, I'm going, and that's it. There's
Yeah.
no shortcuts in life.
Yeah.
So it became for me, really a way to challenge myself. It became also a way for me to give a structure to my life. Okay, I will explain. We're all very, overloaded, even, when you have kids and you're working, and
Yeah.
so we never have time. Okay, so we need to create the time. And the fact that, okay, a few times in a week I'm saying, no, stop, pause.
Yep.
Now I don't, even if the kids need me or the work or whatever, no, it's time for me, for myself. So
Yeah.
it gave me like kind of structure. So it definitely kind of changed my life, the fact
Yeah.
that I really
Yeah.
managed, to settle these moments for me
It's
during the week.
amazing. I feel your passion and I relate. I love
Yeah, you
being
do?
active. I've been going to the gym 6 days a week for I think 9 years now. Yeah, it started for me with I was recovering from an eating disorder and I wanted to shift my perspective of my body and become strong instead of weak, which I'm very grateful I had people who introduced that to me, like to become strong.
Amazing.
And I remember the first time I was in the gym with a personal trainer, I couldn't lift like a 2 pound dumbbell, nothing. And so I went, I was consistent. I'm a very type A person, so kind of like you, like I like the structure, I like that I had to get out, fell in love with it, and I've been consistent. And I remember when I was in college, I had a job, I had full-time school, I had, like craziness, and my friends always were like, no, I don't have time for the gym. How do you have time for the gym? And I said, it's all about priority. It's not an
Priority.
option for me, right? I will say I was a little isolated from people because instead of going out for dinner, I decided to go to the gym and stick to what, made me feel good. But the best thing I've ever done is get into
Wow.
fitness. It's
Amazing.
my 1 hour in the day that it's my therapy, right? It's like my one,
Definitely.
yeah,
Movement is therapy. I'm always telling
it's
people.
incredible. Yeah. So I so relate to what you're saying. I did not think though it was a punishment. I just wasn't able to do anything at first. Like I was really, and then
Wow.
to see the progress is really incredible. So something that you said was that when you first started, you were ashamed to work out in the gym. And I think a lot of women experience this, but I think a lot of Orthodox women experience this specifically. So can you share about that
Yeah.
experience?
I will speak in the perspective of Orthodox women.
Yes.
Okay. I went to the gym. It was a mixed, okay,
Yeah.
gym. I know some women like would they prefer to go only women.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was the only place that was close to my work because I was going, in the morning, early in the morning, and directly from the gym I was going to work. So
Work.
it was convenient for me to exercise there. At the beginning, when I started, to okay, and my lessons, I was okay. What I'm gonna wear? I'm a modest, religious woman, and I
Yeah.
don't know what to wear.
Yeah.
You need to wear a skirt on the knee length, and you need to have 3/4 sleeves, and so I would be honest. At the beginning, I was kind of compromising on my values
Yeah.
because I couldn't find anything
Right.
which really I liked or was comfortable. So I was going with a mini, skirt from
Yeah.
Nike, and I was putting, my leg in. So it was not modest, literally. And what I was finding on the web, was like, it's not me, or it was not the right fabric, or it didn't look good. And yeah, I was looking at the women, around
Yeah.
me, and they were looking amazing. You see how people, when they go to the gym, they look, wow, they look so fresh,
They
and they have,
glow.
yeah, they
Yeah.
glow, exactly. They have the right
Yeah.
outfit and the colors and the cap, And I was like, okay, I feel I really like look bad, you know? And I love fashion. I'm a French woman,
Yeah.
you know, from Paris. For me, fashion is super
Yeah.
important. But then in the gym was the only place
Oh,
it was
yeah.
not me. Yeah, so this is how I felt a bit
That's so
ashamed.
sad because the gym should be a place where it's exactly
Yeah,
what you're saying, where you want to feel confident because you're
yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah.
something so amazing for your body. It's
No,
such a
I
like
wasn't
a
feeling confident at
contradiction,
all.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely not.
So, okay, what I love about you is that you had a problem and you came up with a solution.
Yeah,
Not everyone does that, right? A lot of people just know there's problems and we complain about problems and we do nothing about the
exactly.
problems. So, talk to me about what you did with that.
I had this skirt from Nike, as I
Hmm.
told you, like was very short, and I was looking at this, and I thought to myself, listen, it's not so complicated. I need this skirt
Mm.
to be longer. That's it. And I really looked for it, you know, and I
Yeah.
couldn't find. Or what, again, can find some skirts, like it's not the right fabric. I wanted to have both things. One,
Yeah.
style, and two, comfort.
Yeah.
You know, a Nike, Adidas, all the sportswear industry it's a lot about, you know, the fabric.
Yeah.
It has to be breathable. You know, you go and you sweat, especially when you're a modest woman, you need to have extra length, you know.
Right.
Um, so I couldn't find this. And then I thought to myself, okay, I don't have any fashion notions, you know, I'm not from this industry. I'm gonna find a designer, speak to her about my idea, and let's see. So I met someone, gave my idea, and she told me, okay, you know what, I'll help you to build a first
Yeah.
collection. She helped me to find the right fabric and to build, you know, the first collection.
Yeah.
I started, you know, on Instagram, and I was thinking, okay, if I have this problem, probably more women have this issue as well. So I started to sell the first skirts, you know, that I designed
Yeah.
and we produced, and I saw there was a great demand for it because everyone was like, finally, you
Yeah.
know, finally. So this is how it started,
Yeah.
basically.
I love that what you just said. If I have this problem, then I'm sure other people have this problem.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us think we're the only ones that are dealing with the things we're dealing with, right? And it's never like that. There's
No,
always
no.
somebody else that is dealing with the same
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
for
We
sure.
just need somebody, the trailblazer, to do something about it. So,
Exactly.
what gave you the courage to actually like leave your very secure job, I'm sure, and start on this venture, something new, a startup, something that's like, it's just, it's amazing. It's brave.
Um, First of all, I did it for 2 years. Okay, for 2 years, I
Hmm.
was still working and
Yeah.
managing this small business, mostly during night hours,
Yeah.
because I was working, you know, from 9 to 6, and need to take care of
Wow.
the kids, of the family, blah, blah. So during the day, I was here and there, you know, answering message on Instagram and orders, but you know, I was like packing the orders mostly during the night, like sometimes was until very late. Yeah. And then after 2 years, I saw there's a, you know, growing demand for it, and people are very excited about it. There's a huge
Yeah.
traction around it, and then I said, okay, it's not possible anymore, you
Yeah.
know, to do both. And I believe in focus. If you want to succeed in
Yeah.
something, I believe you need to be focused. Okay. And then, you know, I don't know, I'm nearly 40 years old, and
You
I
don't
thought,
look it
yeah,
at
thank
all.
you.
You look amazing.
Thank you. And then I said, okay, if you don't do it now, when?
When,
Okay,
right?
it's the
Yeah.
time. So if you want to fulfill your dream, just do it. I
Wow.
don't want to live, you know, with this feeling that if I did, if I would have, you know. So yeah, so it was very hard to decide, you know, when you have a family,
Yeah.
and then I thought to myself, okay, do it. Worst case scenario, you know, if something is not going as you want, you will look for another job, you know,
Yeah.
in some time. But I will do
Yeah.
everything, you know, to make it work.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was not easy.
I think what's interesting there is you said two things, and I'm just curious if you can give advice on this. So, a lot of people, when they do something new and they have a very secure job, take that year or two and they work crazy hours, and at night they do the thing they want to do, but they still want the safety net of their job. But then on the other hand, you're saying that you need to focus. And so can you give advice to people who have this dream, they don't know how to start? Do you think they should start with doing both and put in hours, see if it works, or should they quit their job?
I think it depends in which stage of your life
Okay. That's
yeah,
good.
I think if I was 20 years old, 25 years old, even, 30 years old, maybe would have thought
Mm,
different, okay?
yeah.
Maybe you kind, young people, maybe you have less responsibilities, but when you have a family, and you have
Yeah.
5 kids, and life in Israel is not so easy,
No.
it's challenging. So you cannot, I mean, it's hard to take such risks. But even though I would be younger, and people maybe, they're much younger than me, I would always advise not to, at least to test the water, to do a
Right.
POC. I want to see if there's traction. I want to see
Yeah.
how it goes. I want to learn my market. Okay. So
Yeah.
of course, if you really want to expand, you need to be focused. But I would definitely recommend not to quit because I have an idea. Okay. Prove yourself, check your market, know your competitors, know your audience, understand how much
Yeah.
you can grow. And then once you have a POC and you say, okay, I see that it works, I see people like it, I know I can do more things, then okay, you
Yeah.
say, you can, I think you can quit when
Yeah.
you really believe that this is the right moment and you know you can do much more. So this is what I thought. Like I was thinking, okay, if this is the results I have doing it half, of my, not even half of my time, even less than this.
Yeah.
If I will be 100% focused on this, I think I can do much more.
Yeah.
And I can reach people that I'm not reaching today and new audiences and new markets. And so this is why I
Yeah.
said, okay, go for it.
It's great advice. POC just is proof of concept, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
POC.
yeah. I'm just curious because I was stalking your Instagram. I went way, way back. And did you have a different name for your company at first?
Yeah, my name was Kosher.
That's cool.
Kosher in Hebrew, it means sport.
Yeah.
And it's kosher, reference to
Yeah.
kosher,
It's
kosher
very cute.
for Jewish.
Yeah.
So I liked the name, and with the time I started to get some customers which are not Jewish, some
Mm.
Christians. By the way, I didn't know before that Christian women also have kind of modesty rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Some
is
of them.
this was
Yeah.
completely new for me. I didn't know.
Wow.
Muslim, of course, I knew. So I started also to get some Muslim customers, and then I said to myself, okay, kosher. It's really it refers to the
Right.
Jewish community, and this is I want something bigger.
Yeah.
I want all the women who want modesty, no matter if they're Christian or Muslim or Jewish or even not religious. I'm getting
Wow.
some message from a woman who'd say, I'm not a religious person, but I don't feel comfortable, going to the gym with a legging.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that it's more modest, even though it's
Wow.
not a religion issue, question. So that's why I changed it to Ellie. Ellie is kind of short, for how do you say?
Abbreviation. Yeah.
Abbreviation for elevate, Ellie elevate, because I believe that in our lives, it's all about to elevate yourself. If it's spirituality, if it's with your kids, with your family, in your job, with yourself. And Eli also in Hebrew, it means my God. So I liked, this word,
Yeah.
and I said, okay, I think
Yeah.
it can speak to all the women. So yeah, so I
Yeah.
moved from kosher to Eli, and I hope that it can resonate more to
Absolutely.
all the women around the world.
Yeah, I just wanted, first of all, Ellie is my brother is Ellie, and it's one of my favorite
Ah,
names. Yeah. And I also think from like a brand point of view, it's very catchy, right? Like you
yeah,
say ELY Active, you're like,
it's
what
short.
is, yeah, which is always
Yeah.
good. Okay, that was just for me. I was curious. Okay, early on, you faced feedback that wasn't always so positive, like you'll never succeed, like religious women or Orthodox women are not into sport or fitness. Um, how did you deal with that?
Um, Actually, this drives me a lot. I'm this kind of
Oh,
person that if I
yeah,
believe in something and you have negative noise around you,
yeah,
it will give me even more drive to show people.
I love that.
I will see, I will
Yeah,
show you, I will prove you.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yes, of course, I heard at the beginning many people told me, but religious women, they don't exercise, they don't work out, it's not important for them, this is not a priority. And I was like, okay, we need to break these stereotypes.
yeah,
The idea of the religious woman who has 10 kids and she's only busy with cooking and
yeah,
cleaning, it's over. In 2025, religious women have careers. And I know in Israel, in the high tech industry, there's a lot of Orthodox
yeah,
women. Religious women also take time for themselves, and our body is very important, not less than anyone else. So how I felt with this, it's just I'm not letting the negative noise to impact. If I believe in something, I will do everything to succeed. And again, this I was telling, to myself, all these people, who always, I will show them.
I wish,
One day
yeah.
I will prove them that they were
Yeah.
wrong.
What an amazing attitude for like an entrepreneur. I think it's so important because there's so much noise around us
Yes, a
that
lot.
we can give into. I was gonna ask you, and I think I know the answer, but was there ever a time where you felt like giving up on Ellie, where you're like, maybe this isn't working?
Um, the, the only reason why it happened to me to doubt is around, like, okay, you can work, you don't have security, when you're an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, you don't have any security. So this was the only thing that I was like, but if
Yeah.
I believed in the product itself, or in in the message that I want to communicate, no, I never doubted.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. It's more than the product itself. Okay, the product, of course, it answers a very specific need, but it's more than this. It's is really to build a personal brand. It's really to empower women around religion, about faith, about being an Orthodox woman and lifting weights, because I love lifting
Yeah.
weights. And many people already told me, when they saw me in the gym with my headscarf, this is the first time we see a religious and Orthodox woman lifting weights,
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, you can be religious and you can lift weights and you can have a career and you can be whatever you want to be. Faith is not something that stops you in
Yeah.
any way. So it's not only, as I said, the product, it's the message that I want
Yeah.
to tell all the women. You can fulfill your dream and don't limit yourself.
Yeah. I think you've created like a lifestyle brand, right? Because when it's not just, and you're very good with your videos on Instagram. It's like you're very, very good with it. But what you're doing there is you're not just showing a modest skirt, but you're actually almost all your videos have like they tell a story of
Yeah.
breaking a stereotype or something that like somebody who doesn't believe in themselves. It's like why, and it's you've turned it into so much more than just a
This is what
comfort
I try,
thing.
yes. I think you need to give content value to people,
Yeah.
okay? To sell a product, as I said, this is not, of course, it's interesting for me, to help women to dress better, in better way, when they work out, or it's not only workout, today, like
Yeah.
activewear is also for every day, you
Yeah.
go to
Yeah. Yeah.
to the supermarket, you
It's the
want,
best.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but I really try to give some value to people.
Yeah.
I like to get also some, some value from, message from inspiring women. And I really try, what I know and what I can give to others. And yeah, of course, people ask me a lot about sport. How do you work out? How you manage to,
Yeah.
all these, the kids and the family and the work and take time for yourself. People ask me about work, people who have their business and they ask me some advice. So I really try, in addition, to the brand itself, to the product itself, to give
Yeah.
some,
There's a very personal touch to it. First of all, you're in a lot of the videos itself, right?
yeah.
So I'm gonna go off a little track. What made you decide that? I always think it's amazing when a startup or a brand has a face to it that is actually the face behind it, right? But what gave you the courage to do that? You're really putting yourself out there in a very beautiful, strong, amazing way, but not everyone can do that, right?
I was a bit shy, at the beginning. I was not.
Really?
No, I mean, it's hard, to be on
Yeah.
all the videos, and sometimes I'm dancing, and But it's just again, as you understand that people like what you
Yeah.
communicate, and you get amazing feedback from the people, then I understood it's like I take it really as a mission, okay?
Yeah.
I want to empower women. So of course I can take, models, to do the videos, but it's people are looking for authenticity.
Yeah.
They want to show real life, and the social network is full of fake,
Oh yeah.
lives that you can see on Instagram. And I really try to show the real life. And
Yeah.
yes, I'm saying sometimes that I didn't cook for Shabbat until, Friday morning. My Shabbat is not ready. And you
Yeah.
see, all these amazing women that I already have the day before, amazing table,
That's
Shabbat
what they
table.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the house is always clean and perfect, and and I try to look real life.
Yeah. I think
I
it's
don't like
important.
to people. This is what people are looking, So this is why I decided to put myself in the
Yeah.
front, and yeah, many people tell me, yes, you are the face of the brand, and yeah, basically, it's true.
No, yeah, and I think it's what makes you stand out for sure. It I when I looked at your brand and I'm like, I'm still not sure what this is, but I want to keep watching because I'm seeing a real person behind everything and I'm seeing a story behind everything. And this goes back to marketing. That's like the
Yeah.
best marketing tool ever, right? But but you did mention people ask you on social media like how do you do it all? I don't know how you feel about the word balance. Everyone has a different feeling.
Yeah.
But can you talk to me about whatever you want to call it, being a mom, being everything you are? How?
Um, I always, because yeah, people ask me a lot, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't have family, very few family. My mom lives abroad, my
Yeah.
mother-in-law lives abroad, so it's not like we have the
Wow.
grandmothers helping or
Yeah.
whatever. So people ask me, how do you do all of this?
Yeah.
And I always say two things: working hard, ve'emuna, and emuna,
Mm,
faith. Okay, this is it. How I do, I have no choice. I have no other choice. I have to
yeah.
do everything. I need to take care of my kids. Yes. I need to bring them to school. Yes. I need to do the homeworks and all the activities, and I need to work. Yes. So there's no choice. Okay. I always been used because I moved to Israel in when I was 22. So I've always been used to, to do everything kind of by myself, me and my husband. Um, but it's just not to finding excuses for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, sometimes you have to be also nice with yourself. You can be tired and you can be down and you can be, it's okay, you need to accept this.
Yeah.
But I'm not giving myself excuses. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I know that there's no shortcut. This is also one of my motto in life. There is no shortcut in life. You can say for a sport, you can say for any career that you want to achieve. There's no shortcut. You need to work hard and you need faith.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think fitness teaches you that, right? Because I
definitely.
sometimes find myself in the gym and I have, let's say I decided to do 15 reps and I'm at 12 and I'm like, do I really need to do the extra three? Not the extra, the three more. And it's like the only person you're cheating is you, right?
And
And
a lot of people cheat themselves.
yeah, no, and I have that in my head. I don't because I know the only person it's going to affect is me, but it's a voice in your head, and I think it's applies to real life too, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's exactly what you said. There's no shortcuts at all,
Yeah,
ever.
because this is exactly when people tell me I don't have time to work out. And I say, imagine how many hours we're in a week,
Yeah,
just scrolling on Instagram. Let's
exactly.
be honest with ourselves.
Yeah,
You have maybe even 2 hours in a week. I'm not saying in a day,
yeah,
even in a week. You
yeah,
have 2 hours? Yes, you do. So
yeah,
it's just a question of priority.
yeah,
It's the same for me. I'm a religious woman, but it was very hard for me to take time to pray every day.
hmm,
Okay, and I was telling I don't have time. But again, I knew that I was scrolling two
yeah,
hours at least a day on Instagram. I don't have 10 minutes to pray.
yeah,
So now that I quit my job, this is the first thing I said. I don't have any excuse.
yeah.
I
Wow.
want to pray every morning, even 10 minutes, that's it.
Yeah,
So I knew it was just a fake excuse.
yeah,
So if
yeah,
people ask me how I do that, I'm not trying to find myself excuses or whatever.
yeah. It's very
I'm working
important.
hard and it's a question of priority. Once you decide that this is what you want, believe me, you create the time for it.
Yep, absolutely. And no one is gonna hold your hand and hold you accountable. You're the only person that can do that for you.
Yeah.
Something that one of your videos you were talking about learning the power of saying no. Why is that important?
Because I think this society makes us feel bad for many things. You need to be like this and you need to be like that, and you need to, and also the social networks give you also this impression that you're less good than someone else, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I have to be honest that it happens to me also sometimes, when I see
Mm.
all the women cooking so much and
Yeah.
having so much time with their kids, and so you feel guilty all the time about things. And then you say, you know what? No, this is how I am. This is how she is. I'm doing my best, honestly, for everything.
Yeah.
And if sometimes you have to say no because you think that you want to have some time for yourself, or so okay, it's okay to say no, you know.
Yeah.
And but this I think like with the I'm not old, but even when you
At
you
all.
get older,
Yeah.
you learn
Yeah.
to accept this, to say no,
Yeah.
because you always want to make people, hear what they want to hear, or
People
you're not,
pleasing.
you're not comfortable,
Yeah.
to give your opinion or to be different. But when you understand that you have to put yourself, in front, because no one else will take care of
Yeah.
yourself if not you.
Yeah.
So it's okay to say no. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm learning that currently. I used to have a
Yeah,
very hard
because
time with it.
you're younger than me. Few
It's a
years younger.
hard thing. It's very
It's a
hard
hard
because
thing. Yes.
sometimes also you feel like if opportunities are coming your way, you have to say yes, yes, yes to everything.
Yeah.
And then I find myself I said yes to a million things and like which one am I really passionate about? Because again, there's only so many hours in the day. Which one am I going to do?
Yeah.
So sitting with yourself and saying, what is really of interest, what's my priority, and saying no to the other things. It's scary
Yeah.
because sometimes you're like saying no thank you to an opportunity or a person, and it's kind of like, am I shutting them out? Are they going to come back to me in the future? Right? It's scary, but I think hearing from people who are successful and doing different things, saying that that's an important thing, basically you can get to where you want to get to with saying no, is something that's
Yeah.
really important.
I think, yeah, you're right. It's not easy, but you need to know yourself. Okay, what's really, really
Yeah.
important for you, what really gives you,
Yeah.
added value in your life, and then to prioritize. It's not always easy. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can say no, and and some points you can
Yeah.
regret. You can
Exactly.
find yourself. Okay, I should have, but it's okay. We
Right.
all do mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah, I love that. So you have a slogan for ELY Active. I can and I will. Watch me.
Yeah.
First of all, I love it. It's so
Thank you.
powerful. Is this coming from what you discussed earlier when somebody tells you no or tells you you can't do something and you
Yeah,
want to prove
it's
them
in
wrong?
a way, in a way, and it refers also, yeah, to as I said at the beginning, like you don't limit yourself, okay. I refer, to Orthodox women or religious women,
Yeah,
modest women, because this is what I am, and this is the product and the brand that I'm building
yeah,
is around this, about modesty. Yeah, you can and you will. Every woman can take it in the direction that
yeah,
she feels, okay. As
yeah,
I said, I can and I will lift weights, although I'm an Orthodox woman, and I will do it. I can and I will build my career. I can and I will be whatever I want to be. Watch me, I will show you.
yeah. Oh, I love it.
Is about I really want to break stereotypes.
Yeah,
I know, in the Muslim community, there's a lot, because I see, even Nike already had, some campaigns that you see, modest
yeah,
women with the
yeah,
hijab. I don't know how you
yeah.
say it in English, hijab.
Hijab. Yeah,
Yeah, doing kind of, or athletes, modest Muslim women. So there's more and more people are getting
yeah,
exposed to it. In the Jewish community, a bit less. And yeah, and I really want to break the stereotypes.
yeah.
It's
I
women
think you
empowerment,
definitely are.
but really in this direction that modesty and religion and faith is not something that stops you. It's a strength.
Wow.
I really see it as a strength, and I want all the world, the entire world, to see it as a strength, not to hear anymore. You're a religious woman, so you're busy in the cooking
Yeah,
and with your 10 kids. No, no.
yeah. I love it. What's next for Ellie Active? Where do you see it going?
What's next? I really want to, first of all, to expand in more. We currently have a lot of customers, of course, in Israel, in Europe, in the US. We started to get more and more from in the past year, in the past month, from the US.
Oh wow, past
Um,
month?
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. And we're getting a lot of opportunities. As you said, you have a lot of opportunities. People who want to distribute the products.
Yeah.
I'm getting some emails, who want to distribute your products in South Africa, in Mexico.
Wow.
So I know that everything starts, everything takes time.
Yeah.
Everything happens in the right moment. So I'm focused currently in building the right structure, the right logistics. We will launch the new collection very soon
Yeah.
with new products. So we're adding new products all the time. So how I see it in few years, I hope to be a worldwide
Yeah.
company and to hire people who will help me. So currently I'm with my co-founder, so we're kind
Yeah.
of two people doing many things.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah, so I really want first of all to develop, in the Jewish community, and in the future, of course, to reach other audiences, because I think that if we as Jewish Orthodox women had this pain, uh,
Yeah.
other women, which are not Jewish for sure, also
Yeah.
uh, miss, this
Yeah. I'm
this
so
fact.
excited to see what you're gonna do. Like, and every video that you put out is so entertaining and interesting, and I truly mean that. I'm gonna ask you something that I ask all my guests. Laura, what does being a trailblazer mean to you?
Wow. For me, it's an honor because also, as you said, we find you on the social media. And I love to see that you interview such amazing women,
I'm so lucky.
and you put light on these women, that if I wouldn't know you, I wouldn't
Yeah.
meet this woman, I wouldn't
Amy, yeah.
hear about their story. So I'm very honored, first of all, to do my podcast in English. I was thinking maybe,
With your lovely accent, I love it. Really,
yeah.
it's yes.
Thank you. So it's really an honor, and you deserve to be known,
Oh, thank you.
really, because what you're
You're
doing
so
is
sweet.
amazing. It's kind of, reminds me also what I'm looking to do, with my brand, is to show, inspiring women, and it's good. We need this, You're on
Yeah.
the social media, is whether you see perfect life of women,
Yeah.
something that you don't have in your life, or you hear bad news or whatever. So when you have content,
Yeah.
which inspires you and powers, it feels good. So
Yeah.
thank you for
I
it.
thank you. I really felt that way when I came across your page and your company. Like I really felt inspired, and that doesn't happen a lot on social media where you go onto somebody's page. I really truly believe you're starting like a revolution.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, I know you want it to be bigger than just clothes, and I think it's even bigger than what you think it is. And I truly mean that, and I'm so, so excited to see what's
Thank
next for
you.
you. Thank you so much for joining me. You're such an
Thank you.
inspiration.
It was really a pleasure.
Really. Thank you.